Welcome everybody. This is going to be my first impromptu podcast so I can talk to everybody about what's going on. I'm hoping everybody has been unaffected by the coronavirus, except for, of course, nobody's working. Me personally, I could not work for the rest of my life as long as I get paid. Anyways, I'm the commissioner of the Lombardi League this past year. My fantasy football this past year, Corey's team won. I believe they're like a 4 seed or something. It was quite impressive. He won as a 5 seed. He dropped 181 in the first round, which unbeatable. 125 in the second. And in the championship game, he dropped 156.18. He beat Miller's team by 16, a little under 16 points. So he hit fire at the right time. Congrats to Corey. He's already got his trophy. He's got his name on it and everything. So great first year. So the changes that we are making to the league. We were a $50 league last year. We will be a $100 league this coming season. So plan accordingly. You can pay me at any time. Thank you. You can pay me in payments as long as before the draft date you are paid in full. So the draft date, I forget exactly what the date is, but it's the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. I'll have to edit this and put that in here right now. So talking points, we have trades are open right now. You can trade draft picks. That's pretty much all you have. I have announced that I am keeping Patrick Mahomes and losing my second round pick. You can trade for Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, the only things you would have would be your draft picks if you choose a keeper, or if we figure out a deal, or let's say I strike up a deal with Wes. I trade Wes, Patrick Mahomes, so that's my second round pick. And he trades me Josh Jacobs in the third, and then he gives me an extra pick. We can do that, but Josh Jacobs would be his keeper, and Patrick Mahomes would be mine. Those people could not be kept over to next season. They could be this season, but not next season, as the Lombardi League rules state that you can only have one person kept for 1 year, and then they go back into the pool. So this year, since everybody kept a running back, there's a lot of really stud, really high, really good running backs in the top 5. Let me think about it. I know Kamara's going back to the field. McCaffrey's going to be the number 1 pick, no brainer. Ezekiel Elliott. I know there's more than that. So it's going to be a great season. It's going to be fun. I'm hoping that we can all get together for this draft, but of course the coronavirus has been changing everybody's life. So the way we do everything, and it potentially, unfortunately, we could potentially not be able to meet up. Hopefully the season starts when it's supposed to. That would change our draft date if the season got pushed back. So so watch these videos and try to keep up with everything. I'm very vocal. You guys know my phone number. You can Facebook message me, whatever. Just get a hold of me if there's any issues with payment or the draft date. I tried to do a Sunday where my restaurant people could draft, and it would be a little bit later in the night, so you would have a fair way to draft. Okay, so another talking point, the changes I can think of right now for the Lombardi League, the $100 that I already mentioned. 40-yard pass plays are now worth 1 point extra instead of 2. I felt like the quarterbacks were getting overpowered with how quickly they could get points. And at this point, I'd like to just let everybody know that I am planning on going to 12 teams after this upcoming season. The year after, we have 12 teams. And instead of just finding 2 people that want it and want those spots, I would like them to actually earn those spots. And the way they would do that is I am going to start another league that goes right under ours. Ours is a Lombardi League, so the championship trophy in the NFL, this one would be called the Wild Card League. So I would like it to at least have 6 teams. I can do up to like 14 teams in this league. It just really depends on how many of you are actually interested that are not already in our league. Any newcomer, I would just ask that you're at least 21 so you can deal with trash talk and drink and hang out and not to get us in trouble. And to, excuse me, have played any sort of fantasy before. I don't mind a newcomer. That doesn't necessarily X you out of the running, but I just don't want you making bad decisions. I want you to kind of at least understand what you're doing. And yeah, just be there, care about it. You know, I understand when your team sucks, you just kind of quit looking at it. I do not want that in this league. You will be penalized for that in this league, actually. In the Lombardi League, after this coming season, there will be 12 teams. So what's going to happen is the top 2 from the Wild Card League will move up to the Lombardi League. So that will be our full 12. I'm really excited about it. The scoring will be the exact same and the setup will be the same. So what does make it different than a normal fantasy league, we do not run a team defense at all. We do not run a defensive player at all. To make up for that spot, we actually do 2 flexes. So one is a wide receiver, running back, tight end flex. Any of those, go ahead and put them in there. The other one is it cannot be a tight end. So it can only be a wide receiver or a running back. So from the top to the bottom, quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end spot, 2 flexes, one that can be a tight end, one that cannot, and your kicker. There's your entire team. We are still debating on the kicker part. We might get rid of the kickers eventually, just have it all offensive players. So I'm open to anything. If you have suggestions, questions, please just let me know. I can either answer those questions privately or on these episodes. Okay, so yeah, and then I would like both these leagues to coincide with each other every year. So I am going to penalize the 10th place team starting not this season, but the season after. The Lombardi League, whoever gets 12th place will swap places with whoever won first place in the wild card league. So bad performance will be monitored. We have a very intricate system with how I did draft picks. I'll go over that later. But if you have any teams, any weeks where you did not start a lineup, whether someone was on IR or they're not on a team and you have them on your starting lineup, you will be negated a ball from our very, very interesting draft process. I do bingo balls, and you will go down to the lower league. I'm hoping for the wild card league to get $50 per person, and then second place will get their money back, and in that first year they'll go up to the Lombardi League. First place will get, of course, more money up to Lombardi League, and their first year payment is already paid for the Lombardi League, so you're really set up for success. Congratulations for making it that far. Winning that league is going to be hopefully as competitive as the Lombardi League. I don't know. I don't think I'll get a trophy. I might. It just depends. I probably will now that I think about it. It's always nice to have something in the house, you know, something with your name on it. Just something cool that you can, it's a talking piece. Anything in your house is a talking piece. Like, oh, this pizza, we got it at Meyer. It's delicious. It's a talking piece. You can make it, make meeting new people less awkward, especially when they're in your house and you can't tell them to leave without feeling like a dick. The draft order for the Lombardi League is as follows. Brian Wonsky's number 1, Bino Hampton number 2, Wes Robarge number 3, Spencer Caverly number 4, Kevin Grice, myself at number 5, Justin Aites has the 6th pick, Ferg has the 7th, Corey Torman is number 8, our champion, Patrick McCoy number 9, Josh Miller number 10. I have a couple names that I think are potential keepers for these teams, so it may making mock drafts a little bit easier for you. I'm about 99% sure Brian Wansky will keep Lamar Jackson in the 13th round. He's the reigning MVP in the league right now, and a 13th round draft pick is a freaking steal. For Bino, I had 3 people she may keep. I'll start from the earlier rounds and work down. She had Chris Godwin drafted in the 4th round. Chris Godwin had a really good season this year for Tampa Bay. If he didn't get hurt the last couple of weeks of the fantasy playoffs, he would have, I think he still finished in the top 3 in scoring. In the 7th round for Bino, also Russell Wilson, if she wants to get her quarterback out of the way. Russell Wilson's always putting up good numbers. The 7th round is not that much to ask. And finally, in the 14th round, she drafted Tom Brady. So if she's thinking, okay, he's in Tampa now, he's got Gronk back, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin coming back from injury, Tom Brady in the 14th is a steal as well. In the 3rd pick, Wes Barge, I had only 2 people I could think of that I would keep. He had Josh Jacobs in the 3rd round. Josh Jacobs had a great season this past season. I feel like that's a great pickup. Another late pick that I think Wes Auto drafted last year, so we can give him shit about that. In the 12th round, Mark Andrews, the tight end for Baltimore, had a tremendous season. I think I tried to trade for him in every league I was in that I didn't have a better option. So those 2 for him I thought were huge. For Spencer Caverly at the 4th pick, he had a really top-heavy draft. I didn't feel like a lot of his lower picks were worth keeping. He's got the 4th pick, so the only 2 picks I thought that he would keep. The first pick he had was Devontae Adams, but he might be able to get Devontae in the 2nd. Doubtful, but maybe. And then the 2nd round, he had Mike Evans. And like I was talking about Tom Brady earlier, if you think Tampa Bay's offense is just going to go through the roof, why not? That's a great idea. For myself, I'm about 95% on Patrick Mahomes. I would say about 99% on Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be my guy. I want to get the best quarterback I can out of the way, and I know Brian's probably keeping Lamar Jackson. So what I'm telling you, keep my numbers in mind. If I'm saying 95%, 90%, that's basically saying, hey, these people are going to keep them. For Justin at the 6th spot, he had 2 that I thought he would keep. He had Deshaun Watson in the 3rd round. So Deshaun Watson's going to be, I would say, at least in the top 10, if not top 5 in scoring this coming season. They did get rid of Hopkins, which could hurt him, but they got David Johnson. Hopefully David Johnson stays healthy. So Deshaun Watson in the 3rd for Justin, and in the 12th round, he drafted Matthew Stafford. And if you know Justin, he's a Lions fan, and I feel like Matthew Stafford's going to have a great season, albeit he needs to play every game this year. I think this past season, before Stafford got hurt, we were in the top 5 of passing offenses. So that's a great pickup as well, especially so late. So for Dylan, he had a lot of options I really liked. The first one would be Michael Thomas in the 1st round. Michael Thomas is a fantasy stud. If you play fantasy, you know that already. The one thing about that pick at 7, Michael Thomas might still be there. So you got to say, hey, maybe if I kept Marvin Jones in the 7th or DK Metcalf in the 14th, like Dylan has these options. He could still draft Michael Thomas at 7. So it's something to keep in mind, and I'll just go over every player. Marvin Jones, 7th round, nice mid-round receiver. Thought he did really well for Detroit. He still does. His season last year was cut short by injury, so hopefully he comes back with a bang. I have a lot of high hopes for the Lions offense this coming year. DK Metcalf in the 14th. It's the 2nd to last round, and DK Metcalf will be a fantasy stud. I can't say he'll be top 10, but I feel like he's going to have a very good season. He showed a lot of flashes, especially coming on late last year. DK Metcalf did a lot. I thought it was pretty impressive. For Corey at the 8th spot, I'm pretty sure, I would say 95% sure, so keep in mind 95% sure he's keeping Aaron Jones in the 2nd round. Aaron Jones had like 16 touchdown catches or something last year. Had a great season. I know he won me a fantasy title, so I give that my check. That's a good one. Patrick at the 9 spot. He has a man crush on Derrick Henry, and I'm guessing that's going to be his keeper. That will cost him a 4th round pick. And for Derrick Henry, who when I've mocked recently, has been going in the top 10, I feel like that's a very good, very, very good pickup. He's going to be a top 10 running back, no doubt. Another possibility for Patrick at 9, Aaron Rodgers in the 5th. Aaron Rodgers, man, he's Aaron Rodgers, you know. If Aaron Jones didn't have that good of a season last year with all those rushing touchdowns, Rodgers would have thrown for a few more, and I felt like he had a decent season last year anyway. And yeah, you can't knock Aaron Rodgers that much. His receivers aren't as strong, but he's Aaron Rodgers, and he's been playing with Devontae Adams and nobodies for years, so he can make it work. Miller at the 10 spot, pretty sure, 95% sure he's going to keep Dalvin Cook. That will lose him his 1st round pick. However, he does have the 11th pick. So he'll have, because our draft is snaking, of course, he will have the pick right after Dalvin Cook. So he doesn't really miss much. He gets Dalvin Cook at 10. I feel like that's a really good value for him. He's been going top 10 as well. So he's getting him right about where I think he should. And yeah, so that's the rundown for all the keepers, and I'm really excited for this coming season. Hopefully we get a lot of people turning out for the Wildcard League. If you have any questions, concerns, if you know anybody that's interested in joining this league, please let me know so I can check them off and get a count at least, because I do not want to start a fantasy football league with 20 teams. I would like at least 6, at least 6. Up to 14. It just really depends on the turnout I can find and the seriousness of the players. Thanks, guys, for listening to me ramble for probably about 20 minutes. I really don't even know. But cheers. Hope everybody in your family's healthy. I hope everybody's happy, and I'll see you on draft day.